Hi, I'm Elana, Destroyer of Worlds here at Noise Engineering. Welcome to our demo video for freequel bundle. Here are some demo sounds from later in this video. The freequel bundle is available for Mac and PC in VST, AU, and AAX formats. To get yours, create an account on our customer portal, download the installer, and then run the installer. The bundle includes Virt Vereor, Sinc Vereor, and Ruina. The graphic interface for each plugin can be tiny, medium, or large, and its color can be adjusted via a slider. You can also add fire, a bit of glow and haze, which provides a really fun visual environment to play in. Filter mix controls the mix of unfiltered and filter signals. And here we have resonance control for the filter. At high values, resonance modulates the filter cutoff frequency. Envelope opens or closes the filter. Cutoff sets the minimum frequency for the filter. Pitch track controls how much the filter's frequency tracks the notes being played. This drop-down sets the filter type, low pass, band pass, or high pass. The filter will only be audible if the blend parameter is set higher than minimum. Both synths have this vintage-inspired chorus as well. 0 is off, 1 is some, and 2 is a lot. All of these parameters and the synth tone controls, which we'll get into shortly, are automatable. Let's start with Virt. Virt Vereor is a powerful synthesizer based on a unique set of synthesis algorithms. I'll give you an example for each of the 3 modes, but first, here's the Virt Vereor patch you'll hear when the plugin loads. Right away, you can explore more by clicking Random. Reset brings you back to your default. Virt comes with over 1,000 presets, which you can explore with these arrows, your DAW's native preset browser, or through your own file structure. You can also save a custom patch, or make adjustments to a preset and save it as the new version. Nudge moves all parameters just a little bit if you want to explore very slight variations on a sound. Moving to the left of the plugin, Virt Vereor has 3 modes: Bass, AAX, and Harm. Here is Bass. Bernie Hutchins, a retired professor of electrical engineering at Cornell University, referenced an algorithm called Bass in his series Electronotes, a simple algorithm that uses nonlinearities combined with quadrature modulation to produce a variety of tones. We added a few of our own touches, too. Flavor, tang, and noise control different behavior depending on what mode we're in. I'm going to program some automation so that we can hear them modulating while we switch modes. In bass mode, flavor controls the saturation of the cosine oscillator, tang controls a 2-stage asymmetric wavefolder, and noise the level of a phase mod of both oscillators, opposite phase, and added between fold stages. AAX is a supersaw-inspired beast. It starts with a simple supersaw oscillator and adds some saw mod, and ends with something that can be ethereal or metal. Here's the same MIDI we just heard, only in AAX mode. In this mode, flavor controls the gain into a modulus stage, tang determines the amount of chorus added to the oscillator, and noise sets the amount of phase modulation by subsampled white noise. And now, here's Harm mode. Harm is a sinusoidal additive synth with a distortion of partials. In this mode, flavor adjusts the relationship between the partials. At 0, it's unison. At max, it's octaves. And the middle interpolates linearly in frequency. Tang controls an adjustable rectification of the individual partials, kind of like a half-fold. And noise controls the amount of phase-modulated noise and master clip level. Sometimes, just as I think I might be hitting my limit, I find myself in a totally different sonic world. These synths have a way of doing that. Polyphony defaults to 6 for both Virt and Sinc, but both synths can go up to 16 notes. Polyphony 1 enables legato controls. The top slider controls legato speed, faster to the left and slower to the right, and the bottom slider controls the curve, moving into the next note slowly at first and then faster as the next note approaches, or vice versa, faster at first and then getting slower as the note approaches. As you can hear and see, Virt Vereor makes a tremendous amount of unique sounds with an immediate and usable interface and provides beautiful and mesmerizing visual feedback in the process. Next up, we have Sinc Vereor. With Sinc, we have just one tone adjustment for our 3 modes, but don't let the simplicity fool you. The wavemorphing/wavefolding tone control makes sound design a breeze, allowing you to blend between familiar waveforms like saw, triangle, and square. Super is the same as plain mode, but adds 6 phase offset oscillators. Noise mode generates self-similar noise, great for percussion, effects, and risers. Here's the MIDI clip from earlier in this video. I'm going to program some pitch bend now. Just a little bit here and a little bit more over here. Now if I go into the config menu on Sinc Vereor, I can adjust my bend range as I'd like. This of course also applies to your pitch wheel, if you have one connected. This can be a nice way to add some humanness into a MIDI clip. It can also go the opposite way and really sound a lot like some of the robot sound effects that we hear in movies and television. I can also load Scala files, instantly changing the tuning of a clip if I want. To hear the original tuning again, I can click 12th tet to reset. Each plugin has a MIDI page which shows the CCs the parameters will respond to. You can change these individually with the arrow buttons, or numerically ascending with the Reset From button at the bottom. At the top of this page, you can disable CC control of the plugin's parameters and velocity control of its dynamics. Both are enabled by default. And last, but certainly not least, is Ruina. Ruina may sound familiar to you if you've used any of our Ruina modules. The premise is the same, except with the versatility of a plugin. In brief, Ruina is a creative stereo distortion. You can use Ruina for subtle things like saturation or adding color to a sound, as well as wildly transforming signals. A voice sample is a great way to showcase this versatility. And now here's the same clip with Ruina on it. This is the default patch when the plugin loads. Blend gives you dry-wet balance control. Overdrive adjusts the amount of gain added to a signal, up to 128 times, before it hits the rest of the distortion types. Phase shifts the left and right signals to create stereo width and phasing effects. Fold is a wavefolder based on the noise engineering Infinifolder, which is also on our Bacillus Iter Alter module. Center adjusts the width and position of the multi-band saturator center band and of the filter when set to mobile. Saturate is a multi-band saturator inspired by our analog Ruina distortion module that emphasizes the 4 different bands, isolating the lowest when fully left and the highest when fully right, and blends through low, low-mid, mid-high, and high bands at other settings. Octavize is a full-wave rectification distortion inspired by our analog Pura Ruina distortion module. Doom is a sub-octave chorus. The more you turn it up, the louder the sub-octave is, and the more out of tune it becomes. Buzz adds overtone buzz to a signal, creating width and high-frequency content. Filter level sets the intensity of the filter. Filter track sets the filter to a fixed frequency or to follow the frequency of the center parameter. Filter type changes the filter from a notch in cancilla mode and a resonant and aggressive bandpass filter in bossio mode. And flow changes the signal chain of the distortion. Let's switch to a guitar sample. And now a live bass sample. And now let's add some Ruina to Sinc Vereor and Virt Vereor. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching our freequel demo video. We hope you enjoy these plugins as much as we do. Subscribe for more noise engineering content like this. Until next time.